Seoul, October 22, 2025. Amid the hectic and strict routine of military life, Cha Eun-woo's name has again become a hot topic of conversation in various South Korean online communities. Not because of his performance on stage, not because of a new entertainment project, but because of one simple but questionable incident, a mysterious letter he received a few days ago. Cha Eun-woo, a member of the ASTRO group and a famous actor known for the dramas My ID is Gangnam Beauty and True Beauty, has officially served his military service since July 28, 2025. Although now far from the glitter of the entertainment world, news about him never really stopped filling the timeline. Fans often look forward to the slightest news about their idol, from official military photos, volunteer reports, to stories from fellow trainees. According to reports from a source at the training base, Cha Eun-woo is known for being disciplined, calm, and sociable. He was very polite and humble. Even when tired after training, he still greets everyone with a smile, said a fellow soldier whose identity was kept secret. However, the usually routine and orderly atmosphere of the headquarters suddenly became different this week. One of the gate officers reports a small unusual moment. A military postal courier arrives with a personal letter for Cha Eun-woo. No one knew who the sender was, but the white envelope was said to be delicately scented and had fine handwriting, something rarely seen amid piles of official letters and training reports. Usually letters to soldiers come from family, parents, relatives, or close friends. But the envelope somehow felt different, the officer said. We didn't open the letter, of course, but from Eun-woo's expression alone, everyone knew it wasn't an ordinary letter. Sources in the military environment also mentioned that Cha Eun-woo received the letter after a morning training session. With a sweaty face and a uniform that was still dusty, he stood on the edge of the field staring at the envelope for quite a while before finally opening it slowly. Since then, according to witnesses, he has been seen smiling constantly, even silently, like someone holding back a chuckle. He sat on a wooden bench near the gate and read the letter repeatedly, the officer continued. Some of the soldiers who passed by looked at him in surprise because his face had really turned bright. Eun-woo even managed to keep his mouth shut while laughing a little, as if the contents of the letter made him amused but happy. The news quickly spread. In a matter of hours, the story about Cha Eun-woo smiling because of a mysterious letter became a popular topic in online communities such as the Koo, Han, and Instais. Some users write, "I'm glad he looks happy in the military. Whoever the sender is, he must be someone who means a lot to Eun-woo. Maybe from someone he's known for a long time, or someone who wants to give him strength." Since the beginning of his career, Cha Eun-woo has been known to have a secretive personality about his personal life. He rarely talks about friends or personal life in public, so the appearance of this mysterious letter adds to the curiosity of fans. On the other hand, many consider this incident to be a sweet moment that shows the human side of a big star. Behind his perfect image and calm face, it turns out that he can also feel amused and happy just because of a letter, wrote one netizen on an online forum. Neither the military nor the Fantajo agency has given any statement on the incident. However, this little news was enough to warm the hearts of many. In the midst of the serious atmosphere of conscription life, seeing Cha Eun-woo smile, even if it's just because of a letter, seems to give a ray of light to the fans who miss him. One of the fans wrote on social media, "We do not know who sent the letter, but we are grateful, because thanks to the letter, Eun-woo can smile again." And so from one small nameless envelope, this story began to flow, inviting the public's curiosity about who the person behind the handwriting was, and what made Cha Eun-woo, the soft-hearted star, smile as gently in the midst of the rigors of military life. The atmosphere at the military headquarters in the morning was actually going on as usual. The autumn wind blew gently on the training ground, carrying the smell of earth and fallen dry leaves around the barracks area. The new soldiers, including Cha Eun-woo, have just completed a grueling morning physical training session. Their faces were sweaty, their shoes full of dust, and their breathing was still heavy as they marched back towards the rest area. However, just after the morning hours, one of the military postmen came with a pile of letters to distribute. Among the dozens of dull brown and white envelopes, there was one that looked different, clean, tidy, and slightly smaller than usual. On the front is written the full name Lee Dong-min, Cha Eun-woo's real name, with a smooth and neat handwriting. According to a soldier who was in the back row at the time, the officer called out his name twice because Cha Eun-woo didn't immediately notice. He looked a bit surprised. After receiving the envelope, he only smiled slowly and nodded, the soldier said. After the distribution of the letter was completed, Eun-woo did not immediately return to the barracks. He sat on a wooden bench on the side of the field, just below a ginkgo tree whose leaves were turning yellow. He looked at the envelope for quite a while, as if he was weighing whether to open it right then or wait for a quieter time. Finally, with a small smile on his face, he tore off the side of the envelope slowly. Witnesses at the scene described the moment in almost the same words: calm, gentle, and full of warm expressions. He read the letter very focused, said a gatekeeper who was watching from a distance. Every now and then he smiles, then suddenly chuckles like he's holding back in amusement. Several times he covered his mouth with his hand, as if the contents of the letter reminded him of something funny or sweet. His colleagues who happened to pass near the area also took notice. One of them said, "We all know that Eun-woo is rarely overexposed, but that morning he looked really happy. His smile cannot be hidden. Even after the letter was folded back and kept in his pocket, he still smiled a little while talking to us." The story spread quickly among the soldiers at the base. Within hours, almost everyone in the company knew that Eun-woo received a mysterious letter. Some joked lightly, saying maybe it was from a fan or someone special. But no one really knows because Eun-woo just responds with a small laugh without saying yes or denying it. He just said, "Ah, this is from someone who wants me to stay healthy," then smiled again, a colleague revealed. But from the way he held the letter, it didn't seem like an ordinary letter. There was love in his eyes. It's hard to explain, but everyone feels it. The postman who delivered the letter also gave a brief impression. He said the envelope was sent through a private mail line, not from a registered family or fanbase address. His handwriting is beautiful, like the writing of someone who is careful, he said. There is no sender on the back, only small initials that seem to be deliberate so as not to be easy to guess. Interestingly, the letter also appears to be delicately scented, like a faint scent of flowers or perfume. Some fellow soldiers even joked, "That smell alone can make one barracks guess who the sender is." After reading the letter, Eun-woo goes back to his usual duties. However, according to some witnesses, there were small changes in his expression throughout the day. He appears more cheerful, lighter in pace, and can often be seen looking away with a faint smile on his face. Usually after the afternoon training, he goes straight to rest. But that day, he sat for a long time in front of the barracks, writing something on a small piece of paper, said one of the soldiers. Maybe he was writing a reply. The news of Cha Eun-woo receiving a mysterious letter finally reached the ears of the administration and even the military communications staff. Although they declined to comment officially, one of them mentioned that moments like this rarely happen. Usually, life at the headquarters is very routine and stressful. But when someone gets a letter like that and looks happy, the whole atmosphere feels warmer. Many smile just by looking at it, he said. Not long after, some Korean media began capturing the issue from anonymous posts on the military's online community. One of the posts on the forum The Camp, the official communication platform for servicemen and families, wrote briefly, "A famous soldier just received a letter from someone who made him chuckle for more than 5 minutes. Everyone is curious who the sender is." In a short time, netizens immediately speculated,